Welcome to the Secret Garden of Survival, and today I'm building a duck enclosure because we've got a bunch of mom goats that we had that are all pregnant, and they're having babies, and I'm running out of room in our main barn, so I had to take what was my duck enclosure, this green building, and they don't need nearly that much space, and what I'm going to do now is put them in a much smaller space, but there's plenty of room for the ducks. And for those of you that don't know, I've got khaki Campbell ducks, khaki as in the color or pants, and Campbell as in Campbell soup, and these ducks are the most prolific egg-laying fowl in the world. They produce 320 eggs per duck per year. So I am going to, I'm making an enclosure for them right now. And I'm going to show you kind of where I am with it, so you can see that little area is going to be a nesting box, and right now it's all framed, and I just need to put the skin on it, so to speak. So using half-inch plywood to do that, and then along here I've got an opening that's basically a little less than 1 foot that goes all the way around, and also it goes up to the top, because on the top of this we're going to have a roof that will be able to lift up, be able to get in there and clean this thing, because the door itself is a small little 20-inch by 20-inch door, so there's no way we're getting in there to clean it. There's going to be plywood across there, about 2 feet by 8 feet. This whole building is 8 foot by 4 foot, so it uses sort of standard size materials. I started with the post here, and those are 4-inch by 4-inch posts, and I put them in the ground and put concrete around them and waited for that to harden, and I made them 4 foot from the wall. And as I have done with so many other buildings that I've built here, we're using the 4th wall is on an existing building, which makes it infinitely more easy to build. So really pretty simple. This is an 8 foot span, so we've got 2 by 4 here that spans across, and all the way to the other 4 by 4 post, and then we've got these 2 by 4s here with some blocking and bracing between, which gives it support, and also gives me something to staple, nail these staples to hold this in place. So the predators can't get in, but we can get air in there, and they can get fresh air, and air will go out and vent out. Hot air rises, so this is the low part, and the back end of this is the high part. So given that we're going to have a slanted roof all the way across, that'll give it plenty of opportunity to vent. And the nesting box is really just 1 foot by 1 foot squares. That's all the ducks need. So we've got 3 little nesting boxes in here. That's what it's framed out for, and we will put some spacing, or put some plywood in between each one, so that the ducks have their own space. And we will have plywood right here that'll lift up, so that plywood will lift up, and that's how we will get our eggs. And all of this stuff will lock up, so that again predators can't get in, and we can protect our animals. So it's a 4 foot span, so if you take this 4-inch by 4-inch post, and then you have a 2x4 on this end, which in reality is 3.5 inches this way, and that 4x4 post is really 3.5 by 3.5. You subtract 4 feet and you have a 43-inch span right there. So those are all 43-inch pieces that are cut, and that's what goes from one side to the other, except for the top slanted piece, which is actually had to be like a half an inch, only half an inch longer, so that we've got something for the roof that opens up to rest on. And I will show you more as I put the skin on. One of the things I do when I'm building these, like I did with the duck enclosure before and a rabbit enclosure, is a lot of predators like weasels and minks and that kind of thing will dig underneath the foundation of a building to get at your livestock. So I've put this chicken wire here, and it runs underneath the floor of the entire enclosure. So anything trying to dig underneath is not going to be able to get at the animals. Likewise, I'm going to be putting some concrete right down on top of it, so that will seal up the wood, the ground, and the chicken wire, so predators won't be able to get in. So here is the concrete on top of the chicken wire, and that will keep the predators from digging underneath to get at the ducks. And I'm using 3/4 inch plywood for the skin, so to speak, and I basically measured off each one, and I'm trying to have as little waste as possible, so I'll just cut these off and I'll be able to place them right on the frame. And there it is, completed, or not quite completely completed. I still need to put a plastic corrugated roof on there so that the rain just washes off, and a little bit of extra hardware to lock the thing down, but essentially they're in it and using it, so I'll show you a little video a little later where I can show you what it looks like inside. But that's what it looks like. And really pretty simple 4 by 8 foot construction. So here it is with the skin on and the roof on and the hardware on to lock it all down in place, and we will now put insulation on the roof, because this is the south side and it gets really hot over here in the summertime, and then we will put some corrugated plastic roofing material on top of that, and this thing will be done. But that is, you can see the silver side is out here, so that the sun will reflect off of this, so in the summertime it won't be unbelievably hot in there. And all right. There's a little baby goat right there. If you're hungry, you want some milk. So I've got this thing set up in such a way that one of these panels overlaps the other, and that way I can lift this up, and I won't have a crease here because the water will be running between the two and not running inside the duck enclosure. So you can see you've got water bottles there, well, water 5-gallon water buckets there that are cut out. This is my wife's great idea here. Basically the ducks can stick their heads in there, but they don't get the water quite so much all over the place, which ducks are known to do. And then these brackets are for hanging the food feeders. And this top will close and close back right down on top, so I can open up each one independently if I need to, or both of them together, and it'll keep them dry and cool in the summer, warm in the winter. And the only thing we have left to do is paint it to the same color, same green color as the barn. Put a plastic cover or plastic roofing material, this cheap plastic roofing material I got from Lowe's, on top, and just screwed it onto the wall part so that it can lift up, but it keeps the water from getting into the nesting box. And put this latch on it so raccoons and such can't get in there. So here are my nesting boxes, kind of covered up, and the ducks will naturally cover up their eggs. So there's eggs right there, and eggs right there for my duck eggs. I just wanted to show you how the concrete worked, because this is the edge of my duck enclosure with the ducks inside of it, and you can see that a rat tried to claw its way, dig its way in there, but it couldn't because I've got the concrete, and the concrete is attached to the 2x4 frame, and it could not get in. So that rat could not steal my duck eggs right here.